Hello, everyone joining us from whether you're from TSA, DECA, FBLA, FFA, or any other of our CTSO organizations. We're proud to have you. I'm going to go ahead and be the host during this Hangout. My name is Alec Romero, and I'm currently DECA's Executive President for the 2015-2016 year. So with me today, we do have 6 CTSO national presidents currently, and we also have one who should be on the way. So before we go ahead and get started, I'm going to have everyone go around and introduce themselves as well. So we're going to start off with our FBLA National President, Jose.
Hi everyone, my name is Jose Espinel, and this year I'm serving as FBLA's 2015-2016 National President. Today I'm also bringing greetings from our Phi Beta Lambda, our Collegiate Division's National President, Karthik Krishnan. He's unable to be with us here today, but I'll still be sharing some updates and some information about his division and from our professional division as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Jose. Next, Catherine.
Hi guys, my name is Catherine Leung. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm proud to serve as the Skills USA National High School President. We also have a college division, and their president is Mr. Dante Williams, and I'm sure that if he could be here, he would, but we function mostly as one division, so I'd be happy to talk about the college part of Skills USA as well. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Catherine. And Kelsey. Kelsey, your mic is muted.
Hi everyone, sorry about that. My name is Kelsey Stoner. I'm the National TSA President. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I'm very happy to be on this Hangout, and I'm looking forward to all the questions.
Thank you, Kelsey. And Maddie?
Hi everyone, my name is Madison Johnson. I'm the 2015-2016 National Student President for Educators Rising, and just like Kelsey, I'm super excited to be here.
Sammy.
Hi, Alec, and hi, everyone else. I'm Sammy Shu. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm representing the national staff, board of trustees, and both national officer teams of Business Professionals of America. And I'm your national secondary president, which is like high school president. And we also have a college division. Ariane Alagich is the president of our college division, and unfortunately, he can't join us tonight. But I'll be representing him on behalf of the entire organization. So thank you for this opportunity and bringing all of us here together. Alec, I can't wait to hear all about your organizations.
Thank you, Sammy. And last but certainly not least, Josh.
Josh. Thank you, Alec. Hey, everyone. I'm Josh Sorby. Wait, am I muted or am I not muted?
You're not muted. We can hear you.
Awesome. Just making sure. Didn't want to pull a Kelsey. Just kidding on Kelsey. I'm Josh Sorby. I'm the National President from Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, and I'm looking forward to representing the Board of Directors as well as the National Executive Council on the CTE Month Google Hangout.
Excellent. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us. This Hangout is being put on in honor of our CTE Month. Hashtag CTE Month if you'd like to post about it. And so we're really here today to celebrate all of the incredible things that we're able to do through the funding of CTE and CTSOs. So to start off and kind of get right into it, I'd really like each of us to talk about basically just an overall outlook of the CTSO that we belong to. And so that's just kind of like a general perspective. So I'll go ahead and start with DECA. DECA has a high school and a collegiate division. I'm currently the president of the high school division. Currently for the high school division, we're involved in 9 different countries. We have associations all across, and we feature over 200,000 members. Now, when it comes to DECA, the things that you're going to find yourself involved in is you could have anything from like your CTSOs. We have different conferences ranging in competitive events to leadership. You'll be able to kind of climb the ranks through from chapter officers to association officers, where you'll be in charge of maintaining kind of your program of works within your own associations. And then finally, if you want to go a little bit of a step further, you can run for executive office during your senior year, where you'll be able to be an executive officer during that first year of college. So the best part about DECA to me personally was definitely the conferences, and you'll hear a lot of DECA members talk about that because in DECA we love to dress well and we love to dress up and we love to go out to all of our different conferences and network with all of our different members. We do have regional conferences where you can talk to different associations from all across your region, and sometimes that can get very, very exciting because you're able to meet members that you've never thought you'd ever be able to meet before. Somebody from Arizona talking to somebody from Florida, somebody from California talking to somebody from New York. Sometimes we'll even mix our regions together for certain trips as well. And then, of course, the ultimate trip is always going to be our international conference, which this year will take place in Nashville, Tennessee. During the international conference, members from all over the world will come down to compete for the ultimate goal in DECA, which is to be an international champion. During these competitions, things can get very, very serious, and it definitely brings out the best competitive nature in all of our members. Also, during this conference, members will be able to hear from world-famous speakers, listen to world-class entertainment, and also be able to experience incredible cities. Like I said, this year we'll be in Nashville, but in previous years we've been in Orlando, taking adventures out through Disney World, Harry Potter World. We've been in Anaheim. We've been all over, and our members get an incredible experience out of that, on top of what they learn and experience to engage them in their future careers in business and marketing. So that's my small one for DECA. Let's go ahead and talk to TSA next. Kelsey, your mic's muted.
You'd think I'd get that by now. Okay, so the Technology Student Association is a national organization of students engaged in STEM education. TSA membership includes over 233,000 middle and high school students in approximately 2,000 schools spanning 49 states. Members learn through exciting competitive events, leadership opportunities, and much more. The diversity of activities makes TSA a very positive experience for every student. The over 60 competitive events offered include events such as debating technological issues, engineering design, future technology teacher, photographic technology, software development, and many more. TSA also has select programs for members to take part in, such as Teams, the Verizon Innovative App Challenge, Junior Solar Sprint, and Vex Robotics. We hold a national TSA conference each year, and additionally, TSA state delegations hold individual state and region conferences. We are proud to partner with the American Cancer Society for our national service project as well. From engineers to business managers, our alumni credit TSA with a very positive influence on their lives, as do I. So that's TSA, and it's been a huge part of my life, and I'm so happy that I joined it in 6th grade.
Excellent. Real quick, can you guys see me?
Sometimes.
Oh, really? You guys can see me right now?
Yes.
Okay, because my screen's showing blank. Sorry. All right, well, thank you very much, Kelsey. TSA sounds absolutely incredible. Next up, let's go to Sammy.
All right, so once again, I'm from Business Professionals of America. We are also a career and technical student organization. We span over 43,000 members in more than 2,000 chapters across 23 states. So we are a small, mighty, but young organization. And we have competitive events, just like all of our CTSOs, ranging from IT events to managed marketing and communication, to digital design, to finance, to business administration. So we really cross a very wide expanse of business. And we have those are 72 competitive events. And that's on our competitive events side. And we also have levels of leadership conferences, starting from our local to our regional to state and national, so you also kind of climb up the ranks in the same way. We also cover over 4 divisions. We cover 4 divisions, ranging from middle school to high school, which we call our secondary division, our collegiate level, which we call post-secondary, and we have an alumni division as well. In addition to competitive events, I think BPA is really big on its leadership. We have a very strong leadership program. As you can tell, we have national officer teams from both the collegiate and our high school level, and the presidents of both our national officer teams serve on our board of trustees. So we have a very strong student voice and representation on everything that impacts our policies and procedures and programs that are installed in BPA. For me, BPA has really been a journey across my high school experience. And this year, I'm extremely excited because our national officer teams have the privilege of organizing and planning our 50th anniversary National Leadership Conference, which will be held in Boston, Massachusetts. And every year, our members travel all across the country, whether it's Anaheim, Orlando, Dallas, Texas. This year, it's Boston. And not only do you kind of get to know the city that you're going to for the National Leadership Conference, but you get to meet amazing people from across the country as well. So yeah, this year is our big 50th anniversary. We have a lot of interesting traditions coming in this year for our National Leadership Conference. We're attempting to break maybe a world record and get into the Guinness Book of World Records. And we have other kinds of, we're bringing back competitions from 50 years ago, back when we started out as the Office Education of America in 1966. So this year's definitely an exciting year, and I also want to say happy CTE month for all of us.
Awesome, thank you very much. Next up, let's go to Catherine.
Hi guys, so like I said before, my name's Catherine and I'm from Skills USA. So Skills USA is an organization that focuses on anything to do with work. Basically, if you're enrolled in a career and technical education class, you can be in CTE. So therefore, our trade competitions span from photography to welding to cabinetry, automotive repair, culinary arts. My own competition is engineering, so I can either choose to talk about engineering topics or I can choose to compete in robotics. And like I'm sure many of the other CTSOs have, we have a branch of leadership competitions that focuses on preparing students to be professionals in the workplace. So my own competition that I actually compete in is prepared speech. So I work on learning public speaking, but there's also competitions to prepare students for job interviews and for teaching careers and stuff like that. Skills USA is a huge organization. We have over 360,000 members in the nation, and we're in every state and every territory. We have a parent international organization that's not actually us directly. It's called World Skills. So in June at our nationals conference, some of the competitions are internationally qualifying, and if you do well in those competitions, you can be sponsored by a business to go to the World Skills competition, which this past summer was in Brazil, and before that it's been in Germany or Japan or some really cool places like that. And Skills USA has had a huge impact on me. I've really enjoyed meeting the people in Skills USA, and they have truly inspired me with how passionate they are about their careers, and I hope someday to live up to all this organization has given me. So thank you. Alec, we can't hear you.
Would you like us to move on to another organization?
We can just go with, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I'm Josh Sorby. Like I said, I'm representing Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. And FCCLA is a student-led organization that provides personal growth, leadership development, and career preparation through family and consumer sciences education, CTE component with our FACS classes, and learning the skills in the classroom and then applying them to real life through FCCLA. There's so many real-world impacts and implications that FCCLA has had on me personally and all of our 150,000 members in all of the 50 states and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. So FCCLA has a large impact on my life and the lives of our members, Specifically, we have three main components to our organization. We have our 8 national programs, including my personal favorite, Families Acting for Community Traffic Safety, because safe driving is such a big issue in our society today with the new technology and all the recent laws that have been passed. And reminding teens to be safe on the road is something that's really important to our organization. So we partner through coalitions such as responsibility.org and national organizations for youth safety, really being able to promote FCCLA as well as safe driving. And then the second component of our organization is our competitive events, like a lot of the fellow CTSOs have. We have 30 competitive events ranging from nutrition and wellness to child development, really a wide range of competitive events to really have something that any member can be interested in. Personally, I've competed in entrepreneurship, and that was something that was really beneficial to me since I want to go into a career in business. And really all of our members, a lot of them have participated in a competitive event and found it applicable to their future career and future their plans after high school. And then our third component, like a lot of the fellow CTSOs said, is our conferences. That's a big highlight in FCCLA because that's where a lot of our membership comes together and just celebrates our passion for youth leadership. We have conferences within our state, like Kelsey and TSA said. We have our state conferences, our regional conferences, but then nationally we have 3 sponsored conferences. We have Capital Leadership, which is held in October, and that's where we're able to advocate to our legislators about Carl Perkins funding and advocate about career and technical education on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. every year. And we also have a regional cluster meetings. We held 2 this year. One was in Dallas, Texas, and one was in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's more of a regional meeting, so we get good attendance there. But then the big conference is the National Leadership Conference. And Sammy, you mentioned that you're celebrating your 50th anniversary this summer. FCCLA actually celebrated our 70th anniversary last summer, and it's such a fun, just a fun vibe to really reflect on the history of our organization and how far that we've come. And it's a great experience. But one distinguishing factor I think FCCLA has that I've really noticed myself is how we're student-led. We have 4 representatives on our board of directors. Board of directors is comprised of about 15. And just having that strong youth representation and really having the youth as the central focus along with the family is something that really has shown FCCLA what I'm passionate about. So family, career, community, leaders of America.
All right. Thank you, Alex. So it looks like I'm up next. Alex is having some mic problems, but we seem to have figured it out with some chat, so we're good to go. So as I mentioned, my name is Jose Espinel, and this year I'm serving as the FBLA National President. Future Business Leaders of America, Phi Beta Lambda, is a nonprofit 501c3 education association with 250,000 members preparing for careers in business and business-related fields. FBLA has a rich history of fostering cultures of service in communities, augmenting business education at the middle school, high school, and collegiate levels, and developing competent business leaders who push for progress in every endeavor. Our association was established in 1942 to fulfill the same mission we pursue today, to bring business and education together in a positive working relationship through innovative leadership and career development programs. In practice, this means providing business students of all ages with service opportunities through our national service partner, March of Dimes, leadership positions at the local, region, state, and national levels, over 60 competitive events in areas such as entrepreneurship, mobile application development, and public speaking, and much, much more. FBLA believes that a career in business is not a temporary affair, but a lifelong process. The younger you start developing essential skills in business, the sooner you will be prepared to begin your career. Similarly, the longer you continue to hone those essential skills, the more attractive you will appear to employers, and the more illustrious your career may be. We pride ourselves in being a lifetime association, with 4 divisions intended to cater to the unique needs of members along different levels of business education. FBLA Middle Level serves our middle school age members. FBLA, geared toward high school students, Phi Beta Lambda, or PBL, our collegiate division, and our professional division, exclusively for individuals already involved in the workforce. All divisions enable members to develop skills in business through innovative workshops, competitive events, and networking opportunities at our conferences. Members are also granted benefits from our sponsors and partners, many of whom provide discounts and scholarships exclusively for students and professionals associated with FBLA. As of today, I'm pleased to announce that the 2015-2016 year has been going well for FBLA. Our membership is up over last year's numbers at this time, and we hope to close the year at or above our targeted 2016 member increase. Our members continue to show their dedication to the betterment of both themselves as business students and their communities, exhibiting record participation in our Business Achievement Award and Community Service Award programs. We have continued to be steadfast in our commitment to our national service partner, March of Dimes, through promotions on our social media accounts, articles on our new national publications, our new national news website, fblaconnect.org, and through our March of Babies dances at our national fall leadership conferences. And this is all in addition to fundraising efforts at the state and local chapter levels. This year's National Leadership Conference, considered to be the pinnacle of achievement for our competitors, will be held in Atlanta, Georgia. On behalf of our association, I invite all CTSO advisors and business professionals to consider joining us at our conference as judges. To learn more about how you can become a judge, visit fbla-pbl.org. Finally, today itself was a great day for FBLA, as our CEO and President Gene Buckley, together with New York FBLA State President Daniel Willis, rang the NASDAQ closing bell at 3:45 p.m. That sums up my division update. And Alec, do we know who's next?
Yes, I'm going to be next.
All right.
So like I said earlier, my name is Madison Johnson. I am the president of Educators Rising, and this is actually the first year for Educators Rising to be an organization. We used to be called Future Educators Association for the longest time, and in August we launched as Educators Rising, so we are fairly new in that sense. But basically what the mission of Educators Rising is to cultivate highly skilled educators by guiding young people on a path to become accomplished teachers, beginning in high school and extending through college and into the profession. And so basically what our goal is to provide children and young adults with the opportunity to try out teaching. And so Educators Rising is a year-round program, just like how teaching and nurturing a child doesn't stop just for like summer and spring break. It's a year-round thing, but our most active time period as a whole would have to be the spring because of our annual national conference. So we are just a nationwide organization. And this year, our national conference will be held in Boston, and it's actually going to be on Boston University's campus. And so we have 21 competitions for members in secondary school, so middle school and high school, and then we have 3 for members in higher education. And so the competitions range from lesson planning and delivery to ethical dilemma, job interview, public speaking. It ranges to anything that any member can apply to. Our national conference, like I said, will be in Boston. It'll be at the end of June, and we host over 60 breakout sessions that really work to help build a path to college and teaching, and even just get a feel of what college actually is. And so that was kind of our goal by hosting it on a university. So everyone will be able to live in the dorms and kind of get that feel before the outgoing seniors go into college. But last year we actually held our national conference in Washington, D.C., and we had over 1,000 attendees, and so we're hoping to amp that up this year. But yes.
That's awesome hearing about your organization, Madison. While Alec has some technical difficulties, I'll go ahead and introduce the next question. We have a series of 3 or 4 questions throughout this Google Hangout where we'll talk about our CTSOs and continue on that productive dialogue. So our second question is national presidents. How did you get involved in your CTSO? Did you get through a CTE class, word of mouth, after school meetings, etc.? And we'll go ahead and start with Kelsey.
Okay, so I got involved with TSA because my older brother Ian was a member of TSA for all 3 years in middle school, And one day he brought me to one of his meetings in 5th grade. At the time, I remember feeling an overwhelming feeling of comfort and happiness that I'd never really experienced before. It was crazy. It felt right. And the members welcomed me with open arms, and I immediately felt like part of the family, really. I was inspired by the students' work ethic and how passionate they were about this organization. They were actually reigning TSA state conference champions of 4 years at that time, so the middle school was very active and very competitive. The following year, I started 6th grade and went on to my first TSA meeting as an official member, which was pretty exciting, but it was pretty cool because I went in there and I already felt like family, and ever since then, it's been just a clique and really my home. So that's where my TSA career began, and that was 7 years ago. So it's been pretty crazy.
That's a fun 7 years, it sounds like.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and go to Sammy next.
All right. So I started out as a freshman who really loved public speaking. That was kind of my outlet to share my opinions on certain ideas. So I just kind of wanted to go into clubs that could help me enhance my public speaking skills at first. And so one of my friends was actually at the time, the current local president of our BPA chapter. So she kind of recruited me in because she was also on speech team, which is where I got to know her. And I remember going in on that first day, and I was a very introverted and shy member. I sat all the way in the back and kind of just observed how the meetings went. And at the time, we were only just a chapter of 8, a very small chapter. And so it was really tight, very tight-knit, and I was able to really get to know my advisor and the executive board. And from there, we are now currently a chapter of 80 members. We've grown tenfold in only 3 years, so it's been really amazing to kind of see that growth. But for me personally, I think I really grasped the concept of BPA when my advisor asked me to head our BPA Cares program, which is the service branch of BPA. And basically what happens in BPA Cares is for every service event you do, whether it's environmental, community service, they recognize chapters for their community service, or even for professional awards, and also for special recognition awards. So for me, that was kind of my baby in BPA, and I really grew along with that, and as well as competing in BPA as well. And for me, I kind of went through BPA usually doing, events that I was comfortable with, public speaking, but then I started getting into areas and outside of my comfort zone, like parliamentary procedure. And I think as I got to meet people through the local, state, and national conferences, I really found myself not only improving in terms of my public speaking skills or other types of business skills, but I think also with those essential 21st century soft skills is something BPA really taught me about, which are like your teamwork, communication, leadership skills, and kind of going through those leadership conferences and becoming part of your state officer team or becoming part of your national officer team. It really gave me that sense of just being in a family and also being able to be working along with each other and seeing eye to eye. And I think that was definitely one of the greatest learning experiences, especially for me. So yeah, that's how I got into BPA, and now I'm here, and I have to say I wouldn't do it any other way.
That's awesome. Let's go ahead and go to Madison.
All right. Well, Educators Rising is all about teaching, and wanting to become a teacher and following through with that. And whenever I entered high school, I actually didn't know what I wanted to do. And it wasn't until I walked into a classroom as a peer tutor to students with autism, it wasn't until I had helped a student and had sat in the classroom myself and been on the other side that I realized that that's what I was meant to do. And I actually didn't get involved in Educators Rising until my senior year. It was completely by chance. I was actually in a freshman drama class because I hadn't taken it yet, and my teacher was talking about how she was the teacher leader for then FEA, now Educators Rising. And so she thought that I'd be perfect for the organization, and so that's whenever I started. And we had a good group in our chapter, and we worked towards. We actually partnered with our local elementary school, and we taught them once a week for quite a while. And we did reading partners to help get children that were a couple grades back in reading get up to par, if not ahead. And so that's how I got involved, and that's why I continue to stay with it, because I absolutely love it.
That's super cool. Catherine, do you want to go ahead and say how you got involved in Skills USA?
Sure. So my story starts when I was a freshman. I was really excited about being an engineer. That was my dream, was to be an engineer. So I get involved in the my local high school's engineering program. It's a magnet STEM program. And I was doing really well. I was really happy. And I thought, this is great. I'm preparing for my career. I don't really need anything else. My teacher talked sometimes about Skills USA, and I wasn't really that interested. I said, since I have such great engineering classes, I'm not really sure if I need to be involved in this. But my advisor said, why don't you try Skills USA? Why don't you compete in something? And if you don't like it, then you never have to be involved in it again. So I said, fine, I will try, and I will get involved in prepared speech, because even though I'm not that good at public speaking, I think it'd be a good learning experience, and I'd be able to grow and prepare myself for my career. So I competed at state in prepared speech in my freshman year, and I remember sitting in the Phoenix Convention Center and waiting for them to announce the results of the medals, and they called third place, and it wasn't me. And I thought, for sure, I didn't medal. And they called second place, and it wasn't my name, and I thought, definitely, I didn't medal. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. But then they called first place, and it was my name. And that was the moment that I recall becoming a Skills USA person, because that moment enabled me to travel to the national competition in June. And at that time, it was held in Kansas City, Missouri. And at that competition, I met such incredible people, and they inspired me. They told me about what Skills USA had done for them. I remember sitting behind a boy on a bus who was talking about how Skills USA allowed him to get his general contractor's license, and that was going to allow him to start his dream career right out of high school. And the only reason he could do that was because of Skills USA. And those kinds of stories and the passion that people like that have for Skills USA inspires me. And it makes me think that Skills USA is an incredible organization. So after nationals that summer, I just started to get involved more. I told my advisor, you were right. This is something that I need to do. This is something I need to be involved in. And so I ran for regional office. I ran for state office. I competed in prepared speech 4 more times at the regional and state levels. And finally, this past summer, I was very lucky to be elected to national office, and I'm very honored to be serving in my term. And I only hope that I can continue to spread the word about Skills USA and inspire other students like the students in my freshman year inspired me.
That's really cool. Alec, were you able to join us?
I am able to join you.
This is super weird. There's 2 of you on here.
Oh, yeah, that one's still on there, isn't he? Oh, okay. Let's see. Can you guys hear? Does it sound really weird? Hold on one
There's a
second.
slight echo.
I know you're pretty echoey.
All right, just go ahead and go through the other ones while I figure this out.
Okay. We'll go ahead and go to Jose.
Thank you, Josh. So I'm probably going to echo Sammy on part of this, but I started out freshman year actually at Marvin Ridge High School in North Carolina. Right now I'm going to a high school in Georgia. But originally I also had an interest in public speaking, but I was torn between different organizations at my school. Now, we had a debate team, we had FBLA, and we also had DECA. And each of the organizations had a pretty good presence in our school. And actually, and this was the first thing that drew me to FBLA, and you'll have to bear with me because my involvement does deepen with the organization, so I wasn't just so shallow to join and stay in FBLA for this. But FBLA's meetings offered donuts, and they had a trip to Disney World. And that at the beginning kind of swayed me to join FBLA. I was still involved with debate, though, but I found that there were more than just donuts and a trip to Disney World with FBLA. I actually ended up having a business class, an introduction to business class my freshman year. And my teacher, Mr. Webster, suggested that I should try competing in competitive events, and either through DECA or FBLA. And we had two very good advisors at my high school in North Carolina, and they were extremely dedicated to making sure that our competitors did well at the state level and at the national level, and we had a very good foundation for training national competitors. And I had no experience in banking and financial systems, which ended up being my event. I actually wanted to go into the Air Force. At least that's what I thought I wanted to do at the time, and I thought that I would go off and practice law afterwards. I had no previous interest in entrepreneurship, which is what I'm leaning towards right now, or economics. Those interests I completely had not discovered. But after competing in banking and financial systems that year, I had excellent advisors and an excellent group of students who helped me prepare very well for my event. I ended up placing third at the state level, and while I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't qualify for nationals, it allowed me to see that there was more to the organization than just what we did at the local level. And I think that speaks to a lot of the different CTSOs too. If you're a member in your CTSO, I highly encourage you to try and compete in competitive events, to try to make it to conferences outside of the local level. There are fantastic things that you can do at the local level, but it really opens you up to the diversity of people who you can meet who are members of your organization at the state and national level. And it also allows you, if you're competing in competitive events, to potentially find untapped passions that are previously undiscovered. You may think that you're interested in something completely different, but then you run into a competitive event and you find that you have a very different interest, and you find that this is the interest you want to pursue as your professional career. Now, after my freshman year, I ended up moving to Atlanta, Georgia, and my sophomore year, in a much smaller chapter, I ended up growing our local chapter membership, became our local chapter president. We had a great advisor, who's still our advisor, Miss Brown, and she helped me get together a group of students who competed at the state level, and my team ended up placing for nationals. We won 5th place at the state level in banking and financial systems, and I qualified for nationals through Georgia FBLA, so I got to go and compete. Unfortunately, I didn't place at the national level, but I got to see and meet some of the national officers from FBLA, and they really inspired me to try and achieve more through the organization. And again, going back to that networking aspect at conferences, I really do encourage you to reach out to your state and your national officers. The people who you see here in this hangout can really be an inspiration, and their positions aren't unreachable. If you commit yourself to the organization, if you know your organization's objectives, if you do well in competitive events and you show that you're a dedicated member, you can prove to the membership that you're worthy to serve as a national officer or as a state officer. So try and reach for higher positions of leadership at the state or national levels if you can. It's a fantastic opportunity. Junior year, after competing at national sophomore year, I did have the opportunity to run for state president in Georgia. I won that election and then went off to win the national election for FBLA national president, and it's been an incredible experience. I've gotten to learn so much about our members from across the country, and going back to that aspect of diversity that I keep mentioning with our members. First off, one lesson that I learned from that donut story is that there are so many different ways to recruit members to the organization, and always try to find new ways to attract members to your meetings, whether that's through donut sales or whether that's through having guest speakers to come to the meetings. You have to realize that not everyone's going to have the same interests as you, and if there's something that can catch their attention, even if it's just momentary, they may be able to deepen their involvement in the organization later on and stick with it. And then going back to the other part of diversity, which is diversity of the organization at large, one thing that I've really discovered through FBLA is that there are so many more opportunities through CTSOs than simply going to college, to a 4-year institution. There are so many different career paths, and no matter what you end up doing with your professional career, whether that's going to a four-year institution, whether that's working out of college, CTSOs have the ability to give you the essential skills that you need to be successful, no matter what path you choose. So if you're a member in one of our CTSOs, I really do encourage you to continue to be involved with competitive events, to continue to recruit in many different diverse ways. Try and find as many different members as you can, cater to their specific interests, and also try and serve in higher capacities of leadership within your organization. Each generation of leaders, we need new generations of leaders each year, and we're looking for you to to take up the mantle and carry on what we started this year.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Jose. Josh, I went and cut in because you can't really call on yourself. So, Josh, please share with us.
All right, thank you, Alec. Looks like my term as interim moderator is now over. But through FCCLA, I really echo a lot the call to action that Jose brought. I joined my freshman year. We had a recruitment party at the beginning of the year at our freshman orientation that all freshman students go to, and I saw the booth for FCCLA. I never really heard of it before. I was one of those kids that just kind of went around and signed up for everything and called it good. But then I started realizing that after the first slice of free pizza at our first chapter meeting that FCCLA really was the organization that I saw I could see myself growing a lot in. Specifically, I took a career and technical education class. I took interior design. I wasn't really interested a lot in the field, but I really loved the real life applicability that FCCLA had to what people wanted to do in college and in their career. So that's originally how I joined FCCLA, was through that first slice of pizza, but then really going back to what Jose said about really reaching for the stars in whatever career and technical student organization you're in. I attended my first national cluster meeting in Oklahoma City my freshman year, and that moment in November of 2012 was when I decided that I wanted to serve as national president my senior year. So after that moment, three and a half years ago now, I've been working and striving for a long-term goal that was ultimately my dream, and I achieved it this summer in July. And being able to say that you worked so hard for something for 3 years, presenting workshops at national conferences, competing in entrepreneurship and job interview skills, and being able to really say that you are the national president and a national officer for an organization is such an honorable feeling, because you represent 150,000 or however many members your career and technical organization has. And it's just such, I don't want to say that's a burden, but I want to say it's a huge responsibility to really represent the ideas of your constituents on your board of directors, and making sure that the policies that you state really help impact the members to become future family, career, and community leaders of America. So through FCCLA and career and technical education, I've really been able to grow as a person. I entered high school as more of an introverted person that wasn't really confident in himself, and now I'm able to give addresses to 8,000 people on my first day in FCCLA national office. So really the aspect of FCCLA that I love is how we're student-led, and how it gives us that responsibility, and how we're treated like adults in a society that treats kids like kids. And really in FCCLA you are able to do all of that. So after joining, like Jose, for food in the beginning, I realized that FCCLA was the organization for me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Josh. Well, I did fix the volume issue, so we're all good. So I'll go ahead and give mine now. My story, it's similar to all of you in all different types of ways, but really, oddly enough, where it started was right after 8th grade, in between 8th grade and my freshman year that summer, and I downloaded an app. It was called Business Tycoon. It was a very simple app on my second generation iPod, which is almost a joke now because we're all getting older, but it was just such a simple app, and it was a stock market game, essentially. And basically it taught me just the principle of buy low, sell high, and I was immediately hooked to it. Up until this point, I had never thought about anything I really wanted to do for my career. I was like so many other students before me. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. You know, I wanted to do all these crazy things, but I never really had a serious career to look at. And when I realized how much I was into this, I kind of thought, okay, maybe business is something I'd like. Well, I didn't get food or any special party or social. I walked into marketing my first day, my freshman year, and my crazy advisor, Ms. Moore, just comes up to me and says, "You walked in my classroom, you're joining DECA." So I was like, all right. So filled out the consent form, paid my dues, everything. And honestly, at that point, I really didn't know much about DECA still. I didn't really know how you competed or what you did in DECA, what you could learn. But just like Josh just started during his first conference, my journey really began during my first conference my freshman year, which was in November of 2011, and that was in San Diego, California. And there I got to watch the executive president at the time, Claire Coker. I got to watch her speak on stage, and I'm just watching this little girl, and mind you, Claire's like 5 foot nothing, okay? Like literally I actually think she is 5 feet tall. And so I see this like, little spunky girl, but she's on top of a stage in front of thousands of students and she's just speaking so well and so powerfully. And really it kind of came down to that moment. I said, if I had to put a finish line down for myself, if I had to show myself that I really did what I needed to do in high school, it's to get to that position. And I tell people all the time, it wasn't something I woke up every day thinking, okay, I got to see what I can do today to be the executive president. It wasn't so much like that, but it was in the back of my mind. So for the rest of high school, my decisions always came out to go the extra mile, do the extra thing, because I would remind myself where I wanted to end high school at. And luckily for me, just like all of you, I got to stand on stage at the end of my senior year, and I got to meet my finish line when I was elected to be the executive president. And so when it comes to DECA, I honestly really value it a lot for its opportunities for students to be able to make those impacts, and not even just DECA, but all of our CTSOs, to give a student that opportunity to measure themselves, to kind of put a bar somewhere and say, I'm going to get there one day. And I think that really means a lot to a lot of our members to do. Okay, now we are coming, sadly, towards the end of our Hangout, but I just wanted to ask you guys one more question, and we're just going to go ahead and I'll pick you guys at random. Sorry, Josh, back on host duties. But the final question is, in just a short sentence, describe basically what CTE meant to you. Let's see, we'll go ahead and start with Kelsey.
Okay, so I'm unmuted, and we're good. Okay. One sentence, CTE, that is so hard for me, I have to say, because it is actually my life. It is what I love. I love advocating for it. And CTE has instilled confidence in me that has changed me as a person, and I cannot thank it enough. It truly is incredible. So thank you, CTE.
Excellent. Okay, Catherine.
Like Kelsey said, it's really hard for me to do this in one sentence, but CTE has taught me how to keep an open mind so that I can make the best of myself, and how to serve humbly and serve as a leader so that I can help other people follow their dreams and their passions and make the best of themselves. And I think that's a very valuable lesson. So thank you, CTE.
Good. Excellent. Madison?
I've got to say in one sentence that my CTE experience has been invaluable. Being able to meet so many people from across the nation that share the same passion for me, and to network and come across with different ideas has just been amazing, and I don't know where I'd be without it. So.
Okay, Josh?
All right. In one sentence, I would say that CTE has given me the resources that it takes to be the valuable leader that I am today. So thank you, CTE, for all the opportunities that you've given me.
All right, and Samantha?
All right, so I kind of came up with this on the whim, but it's a little bit of poetry for y'all. Once a shy student, so afraid, met and inspired by people in BPA, forever professional leader tomorrow and today. Thank you, CTE.
That was beautiful. All right, Jose?
So, like everyone else has said, not only is it very difficult to sum up the CTE experience into one sentence, but I'm not exactly known for brevity. But CTE has taught me that we can better ourselves and we can be better people. So here we go. CTE is real preparation for real careers. Thank you, CTE.
Excellent. I think Most of all, CTE gave me a chance to see what I could do as a person and what I can make happen. And now going forth for the rest of my life, I know that no limits can hold me because throughout my time in these CTE and CTSO classes and organizations, I was able to understand that barriers really can't hold us. So thank you, CTE. And thank you everyone who tuned in tonight to watch. This broadcast will be available, a recorded version will be available on YouTube, so if you want to share it with your classes, with your fellow members, or anybody else, please feel free. And also thank you, of course, to all of our guests. I know you guys are really busy, so I really appreciate you guys putting the time aside to do this. I think we all really have a passion for what these CTSOs and CTE have given to us, and so it's very exciting to be able to celebrate it during this #CTE month. So thank you very much, and good night, everyone.